Up to yesterday we have discussed about the configurational isomers, that is geometrical isomers also we have discussed, and also enantiomers also we have discussed. That is, now here coming to the another one, RS nomenclature. So this is the nomenclature which is used to give the naming to the enantiomers. Enantiomers are non-superimposable mirror images. So if you want to give names to the enantiomers, we are going to use the RS nomenclature. And here enantiomers will have only difference in rotating the plane polarized light. So if R isomer of one compound is going to rotate the plane polarized light towards the right, means towards the clockwise, the S isomer will rotate the plane polarized light towards the left side. So RS is exactly opposite in action towards the plane polarized light. Now, how to give RS nomenclature to a compound? For example, here we are having one compound, and initially what we have to do is, this is a chiral carbon. This carbon is having 4 different groups around it. So initially we have to give a numbering to the groups which are attached to the carbon. So based on the priority. So how to give priority to certain group, that will be based on Kahn-Ingold-Prelog's rule. So according to Kahn-Ingold-Prelog's rule, we are having the first rule is that we have to give priority to the atom which is having highest atomic number. For example, if we are having iodine, bromine, chlorine and fluorine, so highest priority will be given to iodine, then to bromine, then to chlorine, then to fluorine. Means highest atomic number containing atom will be given highest priority. Then here in this atom, in this molecule, you can observe this is attached to right side, it is attached to OH. So first atom is oxygen, so this will be given first priority. Then coming to COOH and CH3, so when we are taking consideration of first atom, like here in these two groups, carbon is the first atom, so we have to go for priority of second atom. So we have to search for the second atom. And if you go for the second atom which is connected to the first atom, here oxygen is attached to the carbon, whereas here hydrogen is attached. So priority will be given to the group which is having the next highest atomic number containing atom. So COOH will be given priority. Next, if we compare hydrogen and CH3, obviously as carbon is having high atomic number than hydrogen, so CH3 will be given priority. And then obviously coming to the hydrogen will be given to the last priority. So here highest priority is OH and least priority is hydrogen. Then we have to arrange the groups in such a way that the least priority group must come to the vertical line, but with even number of transactions. Like here we have to interchange this hydrogen and methyl. Then this hydrogen will come to here to the vertical line and methyl will go to horizontal line. And in the same way, even number of interchanges. So the opposite groups also we have to interchange. OH will go here and COOH will come here. So after that, we have to see whether the numbers are going, highest priority numbers are going in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. If that is going, for example, here itself we will give 1 2 3, so it is going anti-clockwise direction. If it is going in anti-clockwise direction, that compound will be named with S, and if it is going with the clockwise direction, the compound will be named with R. So for giving RS nomenclature, we have to depend on the Kahn-Ingold-Prelog's rule. According to this rule, highest atomic number containing group will be given highest priority, and if first atom is same, we have to consider the second atom, and then we have to bring the lowest priority group, least priority group to the vertical line with even number of interchanges between the groups. And if we are having any high density isotopes like hydrogen, deuterium, tritium, tritium will be given highest priority, then deuterium, then proton. So in that way we have to give the priority. And if we are having double bond and triple bond, triple bond must be given priority, then the double bond, then the single bond. So C triple bond C will be given highest priority, then C double bond C, then C single bond C. So these are the Kohn-Ingold-Prelog's rule to give the RS nomenclature to the enantiomers. So after giving priority, if the if when we observe the numbers, if 1 2 3 are there in the clockwise direction, then that nomenclature, that group compound is named with R, and if it is anti-clockwise, that is named as S. So this is related to the RS nomenclature, and which will be used, this nomenclature will be used to give naming to the enantiomers. So these are all the rules. And for example, see here, chlorine will be given highest priority, and CH2Cl and CH2Br as second atom. Bromine is having highest atomic number. CH2Br will be given highest priority than CH2Cl. So like this is some of the examples. Like here, this is having longest chain, so this group is given highest priority. And second, this one ethyl group, first propyl group, then ethyl group, then methyl group, then hydrogen. So it is going anti-clockwise direction, so it is named as S. And here it is going as anti-clockwise direction, so it is also named as S. And mirror image of this molecule will have the R configuration. So this is, if one enantiomer is having S configuration, obviously the another enantiomer will have the S configuration. Okay, now coming to the geometrical isomers nomenclature. In geometrical isomers, we have discussed that we will have cis-trans isomers, means if similar groups are present on the same side of double bond. Like here, if you observe, if this is the double bond carbon carbon double bond, two methyl groups are on the same side of the double bond, so this is known as the cis isomer. Okay, and if the similar groups are present on the opposite side of the double bond, then they are considered as the trans isomer. And this cis trans isomerism is possible when we are having two similar groups around the carbon carbon double bond, but this is not the case possible for all the molecules. Okay, coming to here, we are having two different groups, two similar groups and two different groups. So for this means, around the carbon we are having two hydrogens. On one carbon we have two hydrogens, and on the other carbon methyl and chlorine. So for this, cis trans isomerism is not possible, but we can give the nomenclature of such and such diastereomers by using another nomenclature, which is known as the EZ nomenclature. For cis trans, like for cyclo compounds also, cyclic compounds also, like this we can give, because this single bond, carbon carbon single bond in the cyclic compounds is also having restricted rotation. So here also we can assign the cis trans nomenclature. If you observe two methyl groups here, one is above the plane and one is below the plane, so they are in trans position, trans 1 to dimethyl cyclohexane. Whereas here the two methyl groups are above the plane, so this is cis 1 2. If two are above plane, two are below plane, then that will comes under cis. And if one is above the plane, another one is below the plane, that will comes under the trans. So for cycloalkanes also we can assign the cis trans nomenclature if that is having two similar groups. So here also two hydrogens are on one side, on the same side, so this is cis. And here two hydrogens are on the opposite side, so this is a trans isomer. So for example, if we observe these two molecules here, The carbon is having bromine and hydrogen, and this carbon is having chlorine and methane. Four different groups are present around the carbon carbon double bond. So if we want to assign nomenclature to these compounds, we have to go for EZ system, because this trans nomenclature is not work out here. So we have to apply the EZ nomenclature. For this also, for giving the EZ nomenclature also, like how we have given for the RS, how we have given the priority to the present groups, here also we have to give the priority to the present groups in the same way. Like highest atomic number containing atom or group will be given highest priority. So in this molecule, if you observe, on this carbon, bromine and hydrogen, so bromine will be given highest priority and hydrogen will be given lowest priority, whereas Cl, on this carbon, Cl will be given highest priority. So highest priority groups, after giving the priority to the groups, if highest priority groups are on the same side of the double bond, then that is considered as Z isomer, because Z isomer means same, Z means same. Z is for zusammen in German, that is the name, the meaning of the zusammen is together. So if highest priority groups are present on the same side of the double bond, then the nomenclature will be given as Z isomer. So before the name of this isomer, we will represent Z. And this is having the highest priority groups present on the opposite side of the double bond. So this is considered as the E, because E means entagegen. Entagegen meaning in the German is opposite. So in the EZ nomenclature, where if we are having different groups around the carbon-carbon double bond, for the diastereomers, for giving the nomenclature, we are going to use the EZ system. In EZ system, first priority must be given to the groups present on the carbon containing double bond. So after giving priority to the groups, if highest priority groups are present on the same side, then that isomer is known as Z. And if highest priority groups are on the opposite side, then that isomer is known as the E. E means opposite. Remember that one. So like here, if highest priority groups like this, if highest priority groups are on the same side of the double bond, that is the Z isomer. And if highest priority groups are present on the opposite side of the double bond, then that is the E isomer. And how to give priority based on same Kahn-Ingold-Prelog's rule. So here you can observe, on this carbon we have CH2, Cl and Cl. So first atom is carbon here and first atom here is Cl. So this Cl will be given highest priority. And on this carbon, first atom is carbon for both the groups. But coming to the second, we have here oxygen, whereas here carbon. So this CH2OH will be given highest priority than these two groups, among these two groups. So highest priority groups are present on the same side of the double bond. So this is coming as Z isomer, whereas here they are present on the opposite side. So this is the E isomer. So like that we can give so many examples. And here you can observe, when we are having the double bond and triple bond, as I said you, carbon-carbon double bond will be given highest priority. Triple bond highest priority, then double bond, then single bond. So here single bond and double bond. So double bond will be given highest priority. And coming to this carbon, carbon-carbon triple bond. And here carbon next attached to oxygen. So this group will be given highest priority. So highest priority groups are present on the same side of the double bond. So this is known as the Z isomer. Now till now whatever we have discussed, that will be coming under configurational isomerism. Now coming to the conformational isomerism. Conformational isomerism. Conformational isomerism arises by the rotation of carbon-carbon single bond. If there is a restricted rotation, they are configurational isomers, whereas conformational isomerism means where there is a possibility of interchanging or interconversion of one isomer to the isomer, another isomer, by the rotation of the single bond. For example, butane. Butane is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, 4 carbons it is having, and this bond is C1C2 bond, next is C2C3 bond, this is C3C4 bond, and this is the structure of this ball and stick model of the butane in butane. And coming to the structures of the conformational isomers of the n-butane can give so many different number of uh, conformational isomers, because it is having two carbons in the Newman projection formula. Like this is the Newman projection formula of n-butane, where the circle which is present on the top of the on the plane of the paper, like this is the front carbon, means C2 carbon, and back side of it also will have one more circle, that is the back carbon, that is C3 carbon. So the front carbon bonds will be represented with the single line like this, starting from the center of the circle, whereas the back carbon groups you can see which will be represented from the circumference of the circle like this. So this methyl and hydrogens are of front carbon, and the back methyl and hydrogens are on the back carbon. So we'll be able to see only front carbon. Now in this representation, these two methyl groups on are separated with 0° angle, means they are exactly on back of one other. So here this is one of the form of the n-butane, and here to get the conformational isomers of the n-butane, we have to fix the, for example, here we are going to rotate the C2C3 bond here, and for this we have to fix the one carbon atom, and we have to rotate the another carbon atom along the C2C3 bond, means one of the bond will be fixed. If you observe, the back atoms of the back carbon, groups of the back carbon are fixed, like methyl here only, here also, here only, here also, here only. So means methyl are placed on the same, the back carbon groups are fixed, whereas front carbon will be slowly rotated with the difference of 60 degrees angle each time, so that each time when we are rotating the front carbon groups to 60 degrees, we are getting one different isomer. Like here, if we rotate this front carbon to 60 degrees, this front methyl is coming here and hydrogen is moving 60 degrees. Here you can observe all the groups will be having a difference of 60° angle among them. So this is another isomer which is known as the Gaussian form. This, the first isomer is known as the eclipsed form. This is the second one is known as the Gaussian form. Again, if we rotate the front carbon atom groups, then we will get this form. This is also known as the eclipsed form. So in the eclipsed form, if you observe, in the eclipsed form, the same groups will be on back of each other, means they will have the difference of 0° angle between them. Whereas in the Gaussian form, similar groups are present with 60° angle. Here again, this C isomer, when we rotate this, when we rotate this front carbon groups again to 61 more 60 degrees, we will get the antiform. In this antiform, if you observe, the two methyl groups are exactly in opposite, means they will have 180 degrees apart from each other. So this is known as staggered form or antiform. This is the most stable form among all the conformational isomers of the n-butane. Now coming to the next one, if we rotate one more 60 degrees, then we will get the E isomer, that is this one. This is also known as the eclipsed form. Again, between the groups we will have 0 degrees, and next again one more 60 degrees if we rotate, then we will get Gaussian form. Again one more 60 degrees if we get, then we will get back our first structure, that is A. So up to 360 degrees we can rotate, so that we will get 6 isomers, and which are observed or which are formed by the rotation of carbon carbon single bond, that is C2C3 bond. Along the C2C3 bond, if we are going to rotate the molecule, then we will get all the isomers, and these isomers are known as the conformational isomers, and the process is known as the conformational isomerism. Like here also you can observe, first eclipsed form, next Gaussian form. Like this is 60 degrees by the rotation of first form. If we rotate the bond towards the 60 degrees, then we will get the second configuration, and if the second configuration is rotated for one more 60 degrees, we will get the third form. One more 60 degrees fourth, and one more 60 degrees fifth, one more degree 60 degrees, we will get the sixth form. And if sixth is again, if it is rotated, we will get the initial structure, that is our eclipsed form. So remember one thing, in the eclipsed form similar groups are present on the different carbons with 0 degree angle, whereas in the Gaussian form the similar groups will be separated with a 60-degree bond angle. And in the antiform or staggered form, the similar groups are separated with 180 degrees. So among all these structure, eclipsed form will be less stable and having high energy because of steric hindrance of the bulky groups on the same site, whereas antiform or staggered form is more stable because the bulky groups are far away from each other. So this is highly stable and having less energy than among all the conformational isomers of N-butane. So now coming to the energy diagram of the conformational isomers of N-butane, we are having total 6 isomers. The first and seventh one are same. So like the first one, which is the eclipsed form, where two front and back carbon groups are at 0 degree angle separation. So that is having very high energy. And here we are taking the dihedral angle, the bond angle, rotation angle we are taking on the x-axis, and energy we are taking on the energy of the isomers we are taking on the y-axis. So initial isomer, the first isomer, because similar groups are present on the same side, so it will be having high energy and less stability. And when we are rotating the front carbon groups to 60 degrees by fixing the back carbon groups, if we are rotating the front carbon, then what will happen, we will get the Gaussian form, and which is having lower energy than that of the eclipsed form. Again we will get one more eclipsed form by the rotation of, if this form is again rotated towards one more 60 degrees, we will get the third form. This is also eclipsed, but it is having lower energy than the initial eclipsed because here methyl groups are far away from each other compared to the first isomer. So this is having lower energy than the first isomer. And when we rotate again for one more 60 degrees, we will get the lower energy containing staggered form. This is having the lowest energy, 0 energy, and high stability. When the groups are shifted or rotated towards one more 60-degree angle, then we will get one more eclipsed form, and this eclipsed form is having the same energy because almost all it is having the equal configuration, so it is having the same energy with that of the third isomer. Then one more 60 degrees rotation, we will yield the another form, which is the Gaussian form, and it is having almost a similar structure with that of the second structure and having the same energy with that of the second structure. And if we rotate one more 60 degrees, then we will get the first structure, that is our eclipsed structure. So this is the conformational energy diagram of the N-butane. So for N-butane, not only for N-butane, any conformational isomers are formed by the rotation of carbon-carbon single bond. If enantiomers, sorry, if the isomers are formed by rotating carbon-carbon single bond by fixing one of the atom as fixed on one carbon-carbon bond, and if one other atom groups are rotated to 60 degrees angle, then we will get different isomers, and that isomers are known as the conformational isomers. And this is very important topic in your stereochemistry. So with this we have completed the stereochemistry. In the next class we will discuss about the reaction mechanism. Is there any doubt up to this?